It's up to you, New York, New York.
All right, how we doing? Happy Friday. Welcome back. It's the Richie Hicks Jr. Sports Podcast here on YouTube. I am your host, Richie, and on today's show, going to do a little bit of a dive in some overachieving teams in MLB. And what I mean by overachieving, teams that were not even in the mix for the better part of the last 5-6 years or even further. Going to hit on a former two-time New York Yankee who potentially could be linked to the Yankees for a third stint, and coming from a hated rival if that trade were to go down, and what some of his demands are. So we're going to hit on that as well. And out in San Antonio, the New York Knicks are on the eve of their first NBA closeout game since the 1994 season, where they had two opportunities in Houston. Sadly, they were not able to capitalize in either situation. Will they be able to capitalize having three different games with the task of winning one? Only one of those three games, if it were to go seven, would be in Madison Square Garden. That is Game 6 tomorrow, Game 5 in San Antonio. So it's a lot going on, and I'm sure we're going to hit on a few other topics that are not even on the brain at the moment. But with me, as always, my good friend, my co-host, Mr. Idris Salam, a.k.a. Bosco from the Bronx.
And I just want to call to tell you today is Friday. What's up, y'all? That's the best I can do, man. My apologies.
Hey, no, good. I want to hit on the Yankees for a second. First and foremost, a very impressive series win out in Cleveland.
Yes, sir.
And that was coming right after splitting an abbreviated series with the Boston Red Sox. That'll be a doubleheader later in the season. They also have a doubleheader scheduled with the Tampa Bay Rays later in the season as well. But it's small ball, it's low scoring games, and of course it's pitching. You know, pitching has been so vital to the Yankees. Right now, they're essentially tied with the Tampa Bay Rays. Not the same amount of games played, but they're tied atop the American League East. Right. You know, Cleveland coming into this series played well in the Bronx. We ended up getting them in Cleveland, but they're kind of emerging, even though they're in a bit of a slump now, in large part to the Yankees, as a team that, is where they usually are, in the mix for the playoffs. I think the big surprise in this year's American League, more than anyone else, has been the plight of the Detroit Tigers, who I think most people, myself included, Corey included, felt that this Tigers team was going to basically just have a coronation, win the Central, and with the Tarek Skubal free agency looming, try to win a World Series. But they are bad. They are injured.
Yep.
They are just in a bad place, and they're not going to win a division that's actually a lot more competitive than people realize. So, or people expected rather. So going into what are we looking at? Soon to be mid-June. The All-Star break is not far away. It's the Yankees, it's the Rays, it's the Guardians, and I think some fans are looking for who's going to emerge elsewhere. Will the Mariners pick up the pace and reflect the team that they were last year that was only one victory away from a World Series berth? Are we going to see the Athletics, who are kind of displaced, continue to hang around? The Texas Rangers are now back at 500. Can they turn it around? They're the last American League team to win a World Series, which was a few years back. So I usually say in baseball, after the first 81 games or so, 90 games, that's usually where the contenders separate themselves from the pretenders. But I think the only contenders, without question, right now are the Yankees and the Rays in the American League. So, for two completely different reasons and two completely different approaches. But it's going to be a fun race in the second half of Major League Baseball. Idris, you are muted. Just letting you know if you're going to pop in on that.
I forgot. Yeah, I was sitting there like, I was agreeing with you, getting ready to get in. I was like, man, I don't think Richie hears me.
Yeah.
I like
his Timberland boot stepped on the mic.
I'm in big energy right now, so you know. But yeah, I'm with you. Because if you look at the AL West, man, I mean, the A's, I mean, they're in the middle of the pack, but they're displaced, but they're still playing well. Houston, Houston dropped way down for a while, but the team that got me right now is still the Chicago White Sox. But they've been bad for so long. I mean, they've been so bad. And to see them up in their division now, the AL Central is not really. I see the AL Central like I see the National, the NFL. They're there, but we can collapse that and put them to the West. But the fact that Chicago is doing what they're doing, and I had them in last place for pulling up fourth or something like that. I didn't think they were going to look at the NL East. Of course the Mets. They're doing Met things early. The Marlins, they're hovering around 500. I'm glad the Brew Crew are back on top because I got a heart for the Brew Crew. But the West is the West. That nothing's changing there. But I think in the East us and Tampa are the front runners, and Tampa has always been our nemesis. So I'll
tell you who's impressed me. I'll tell you who's impressing me also is the Atlanta Braves, because you've got injuries to, excuse me, what is this, like the second time already this year that Ronald Acuna Jr. is on the IL, and it's the same thing, if I'm not mistaken. It's that hamstring.
Yeah.
Baldwin, who is the big breakout catcher this year in the National League, hopefully back within a week to 10 days, maybe a week. But they are still atop the American League, the National League East. And then you got the Philadelphia Phillies, who got off to a terrible start, similar to the Mets. But since firing their previous manager, Rob Thompson, and bringing in Don Mattingly for the promotion, they've been playing good enough ball where even if they can't catch the Braves, I think a lot of baseball people are viewing them as a dangerous wild card that could be into the playoffs. And once again, you got a whole second half to go.
Yeah.
But, MVP races. It's been a minute since a league MVP in either league was not really on a playoff roster. Now, Yordan Alvarez having a phenomenal season for a middle-of-the-road Houston Astros team. Now, Hader just came back. He's a hell of a closer. The Astros are a mystery. Are they going to be buyers or sellers? They're like right in the middle where nobody knows for sure. They have vehemently denied that they would be willing to trade Yordan Alvarez. But whenever somebody says that in a front office during this time of the year coming up, I don't believe a word they say. And Alvarez is having an MVP caliber season. So, that's not the kind of guy that if you're having a rough year, you want to move on from. But, speaking to the value of his stats, I like what Ben Rice is doing for the Yanks, of course. But Yordan Alvarez just taking the fan hat off, that's my MVP right now in the American League. the typical Aaron Judge season is not happening because of his injury and the time that he's going to miss, and even his stats before he got hurt or while he was hurt. He's been hurt for a while.
Yeah.
So American League Cy Young, you spoke about the White Sox. You got Davis Martin. You've got Cam Schlittler of our team.
Yes, sir.
And those are your two candidates right now. Will someone else emerge? Possibly, but I think it's Schlittler's to lose, but I think Davis Martin has done enough to get some votes. But the fact that he's on the White Sox, they don't have the same kind of support. Murakami's down right now. It's impressive, man. It truly is impressive. And as the Yankees go tonight, I'm going to be very honest. It's always hard to win a series when you lose the initial game. And the Blue Jays have been a thorn in our side recently, going back to last year. Prior to that, we had their number. Last year, they whipped us. We didn't look good against them the first series we played. They are still trying to find themselves.
Yeah.
They are, I think, 9.5 or 9 out of first.
Not yet.
Still under 500. Vladdy's not having a good year. There's personal things that I don't care to get into. Not because it's his stuff,
Right.
But
Good guy.
I see Trey Savage. This is another guy that if he has a phenomenal second half, could put his name in that Cy Young talk because he missed the beginning of the season.
Yeah.
This is a Yankee killer through and through. The way that Cam Schlittler is a Red Sox killer.
Yes.
And without Aaron Judge in the lineup, G is still on the shelf.
Yeah.
We're having some moments, but offense hasn't exactly been fluid. It's been more like, you outlast the other team and you get some. Yeah, Jazz been stepping up a little.
Jazz, because he's been
shout out to Aaron Judge's bat.
Yeah. Yeah, because Jazz has been on my shit list, man. He's been getting on my nerves, but he's coming through. And speaking on the MVP and all and the Cy Young stuff, I think with Chicago, like I said, I'm impressed. I'm impressed with them. So that's that on
hard
that.
Not to be. They're beating good teams. It's not like it's just a strength of schedule thing.
Right. And that's for Alvarez.
They're playing the Braves hard. They've beaten other good teams recently. They're not the same old White Sox.
Yeah, as for Alvarez, I don't have a problem with him winning MVP. The way I look at it is it's just like when DeGrom won the Cy Young. The Mets was just, he didn't have a good record, but we all knew DeGrom was doing his thing. He just didn't have any run support. He was winning he was losing games 2-1.
And that's why the Hall of Fame has changed some of those standards.
Yeah.
Because pitchers of today are not going to, collect the same amount of wins in every situation because of the influx of the bullpen.
Right.
Of a change strategy where you're trying to bridge yourself. And it's also pitch counts. Because, in the old days, Bob Gibson, Nolan Ryan, Roger Clemens, Pedro Martinez, that caliber of pitcher, those dudes were expected to go 9 innings sometimes. At least they're going to give you a 7.
Yeah, 7 or 8. At least, yeah,
for sure. But you take a guy like DeGrom, and that's probably the best example of a guy who's going to make the Hall of Fame without the typical win tallies, because there's so many variables, and then you also have to take into consideration. Unfortunately, this is a man who's been injured a lot.
Yeah,
but Jacob DeGrom. This is wild. I love Jacob DeGrom's a great pitcher. I mean, he might not be.
He's like he used to be, but he's
not 20, late 2019, 2018 Mets.
Yeah, right.
2015, 2016. That's not him now.
Not him now, no.
But he's still a formidable pitcher.
Yeah.
And I'll be real with you. If he stays healthy, you play the Texas Rangers.
Mm-hmm.
If Nathan Eovaldi, who's kind of had some big game potential on him, they're a team. They're a team that perhaps, they're the last American League team to win the World Series.
You know what? Okay, go ahead.
No. I was just saying, Mike Zappi made a point a while back about how he feels that for DeGrom to continue to last, similar to John Smoltz, eventually get the 9th inning and be a bullpen force.
That's what I was going to say. Exactly.
We have to see because, DeGrom right now is kind of being nurtured with the pitch counts. He's not like, like I said, he's not getting used and abused like when he was in Queens.
Right.
And he doesn't have to fill that same role. He is a very good pitcher still, but we'll see. I mean, a lot of storylines in Major League Baseball, and this trade deadline is going to be interesting because,
Yes.
if you think about years past, a Mike Trout caliber
I was
player,
going to
Mike
ask you
Trout
about
himself.
Trout. I'm glad
Mike
you
Trout
mentioned Trout.
himself.
Because I was going to ask you, what do you think they're going to do with Trout? Do you think Trout's going to finally get moved, or he's going to stay? Yeah.
Now, considering that he's from Tom's River,
Yeah. Right.
From Tom's River, I think it would be kind of cool if he joined the Philadelphia Phillies to give them that little extra.
I was thinking that same thing.
He's not the kind of guy that would be okay with staying in Los Angeles and going to the Dodgers. That's not his makeup.
No, that's not him.
The man has a high reverence for the Yankees, but that ship sailed.
Yeah.
And I look, where would Mike Trout make sense? And truthfully, if he does get dealt, it's going to be to the National League somewhere.
Yeah. Philly. I mean,
Philly makes a lot of sense, dude.
Get him home. And the way I look at Trout also is this man he could have went anywhere he wanted to. But this man has stayed so loyal to a team that really hasn't. Yeah, with me,
they lost Shohei Ohtani because he didn't see a winning vision there.
Exactly, but with Trout, I'm sitting down with Trout. Say, look, we're going to move you. I'm talking to him. Of course, we're trying to get the best deal we can get.
Yeah, you want to do right by him.
Yeah, for the sake of him, for the sake of what he's done to the Angels, done for the Angels, I'm talking to him like, hey, we're going to trade you. We want to get the best deal, but we want to talk to you first. Because I think they owe him. I mean,
if Philly could pull it off, that would be interesting because you have Kyle Schwarber that at any point of the season can go in like Ruthian mode. Bryce Harper is not who he used to be, but he's still a solid baseball player. He's
still a solid player, though.
Absolutely.
Who knows Trout get there? Who knows what Harper will become? He might get that.
Well, it's a motivational thing, and right. I don't care if Mike Trout, with the injuries, he is still a terrific baseball player. But if you put him in a winning situation, these guys could be playing a championship caliber ball in that lineup. So it would be interesting to see because I liken him to a guy like a Jose Ramirez, but not the same thing because at least the Guardians go to the playoffs frequently. But Jose Ramirez, one of the more unselfish ball players and grounded ball players, where he loves the city of Cleveland, which is rare for an athlete to say that and actually mean it. He loves the organization, and he has taken less to stay there. It's not always about the money with everyone, I mean, Aaron Judge took a substantial cut.
I love players.
He could have got more from the Giants or elsewhere. He decided to stay in the Bronx because being a Yankee captain meant more to him.
And I love players like that because they're good enough to go where they want to go, but they have this commitment. Like I'm staying in Cleveland. Who wants to stay? And this is not a knock towards Cleveland, but athletes have said, I don't be in Cleveland. But he's staying.
I mean, even Meredith Marakovitz, who is pure class, recently on a podcast, she's such a nice person that she was like dancing around and talking about the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame and the trip to Cleveland. Mm-hmm. But I could tell that unless if Meredith was playfully trolling, she wasn't that enthused about being out there.
No. The only person I've seen who really wanted to stay in Cleveland's what was his name? Joe, the offensive lineman that retired a few years ago.
Joe Thomas loved Cleveland.
Yeah, but I think he retired early. I think
Bernie
he had a
Kosar loved Cleveland, but they did him dirty.
And see that's why a lot of people don't go to Cleveland. But for
Myles Garrett recently got traded. We know what LeBron did.
Yeah.
Odell Beckham got banished there. He didn't want to be there after a little while.
Yep.
Now he's back. Now he's back with Blue.
They did.
Yeah, we've seen it.
But I wasn't a big fan of Baker Mayfield, but I think they took a huge shit on him.
A guy who kind of got stuck there?
Who's that?
But he's such a professional was Kevin Love.
Oh my goodness, yeah.
Because he came over for a certain part of what they were doing to win, and then he just was like the guy that got stuck there.
Now he's in Utah.
Shouts out Kevin Love though. in my opinion, of the modern day NBA, the best long outlet passer,
Yeah,
floor to floor,
shooter too.
meaning one side of the court to the other.
Yeah, remember he was a 2020 guy when he was in Minnesota.
Yes, he was. Yes,
He
he
was good.
was. And great players make adjustments for bigger games, which of course is winning. I say that a lot about Jordan Clarkson with our Knicks.
Yeah, because Clarkson be a 6 man or starting anywhere else.
Absolutely. We
He
have a
said, "Look,
very deep roster.
yeah, so this is what I want to do. I want to win. I want to and see, and I don't want to shift it to the Knicks. I know we got Knicks on the horizon, but well, I wait till we talk about the Knicks. I don't want to jump the gun.
No, we're not that far away. I do want to hit on one other topic here. Oh, so getting back to the Yanks tonight.
Yeah.
My prediction is, unfortunately, the
Yeah.
Toronto Blue Jays 4, the New York Yankees 2. I think the Yankees lose game 1 today because I'm sorry, we can't hit you savage, and especially without the judge in the lineup. Prove me wrong, Yankees. The Yankees have
Yeah,
a great
prove me
chance to still win the series. I think Ryan Weathers will pitch well. I think he'll have the strikeouts. But I'm predicting a Toronto victory today, busting up our modest winning streak. So let's see if I'm wrong. I want to be wrong. Let's see what happens.
Yeah, I'm with you.
But I think the Yankees have a good shot to win the series, but they're not going to win the first game.
Yeah, Toronto's tough, man. Toronto's on our heels, so
I mean,
yeah,
they're 9 games out. They didn't have the start they envisioned. However,
Right.
They've been injured, so that's not a team that you want to just completely discount. Because
Right.
it's not like Tampa can't have a bad month and all of a sudden you have a third team emerge in the East. It's possible. Or even us for that matter. We could struggle.
Yeah, I'm with you,
So
bro.
it's going to be interesting. It's going to be very interesting.
I'm with you, bro. Yeah.
All right. Around this Chapman, I want to ask you, Mr. Salam, a third Yankees run, question mark. Former Yankees closer wants an apology from Brian Cashman before a potential reunion. Now, before we go anywhere with this, if Aroldis Chapman has such disdain and such issues for the New York Yankees, because in the past he has said that, he would never come back or want to come back. And also his career is a weird one. He got traded to the Cubs, won a World Series in 2016, came back immediately to the Yankees. That was the Gleyber Torres deal.
Yeah.
Comes immediately back to the Yankees and positions himself as one of the better closers in MLB for a good chunk. I think he made 3 All-Star teams as a Yankee, if my memory serves me right. Towards the end of his Yankee tenure, he got demoted to the 8th or even the 7th. Clay Holmes emerged as the closer. But ultimately, the straw that broke the camel's back, I think, was certain antics. I think it was a certain questionability from the organization with this guy about his commitment.
Right.
And, the infection with the tattoo on his leg didn't exactly fly over well with the brass. And, unfortunately, some bad moments. The 2020 pandemic season, Mike Brosseau takes him deep. That was in a neutral field. Season over, Tampa Bay Rays beat us. Of course, Jose Altuve took him deep. That one's a little more like, wait a minute, because when I saw Chapman make that face, I was like, Chapman kind of knows that he got. And I'm not talking about throwing a bad pitch. It's a little deeper.
Yeah, yeah.
But his Yankee tenure didn't end well. He didn't report to a workout prior to the playoffs. And there's been kind of like conflicting narratives regarding that story. Team Yankees are like, well, he didn't have a green light for that. Team Chapman says he did. And Brian Cashman notched it up to insubordination. So, in my personal opinion, it's almost like when you're trying to get rid of an employee and it's like you need a paper trail.
Yeah.
I feel that in the Yankees' case, they weren't exactly transparent with him.
Yeah.
But at the same time, they were kind of over all his antics.
Yeah.
But this is what's going on now. Chapman helped the Texas Rangers not too long ago win a World Series. That was 2 rings for him now.
Right.
Kind of had little stints in Pittsburgh and KC. He goes to Boston. Helps Boston last year be a playoff team. He somehow danced out of a bases-loaded jam in Game 1 of the initial series against the Yankees, the only game the Red Sox won. The Yankees ended up winning the next 2. He's still pitching at a very high level at 30. I think he's 37 years old now, which is impressive. 37 or 38, one or the other. And now the Red Sox are kind of a fire sale waiting to happen. You got Roman Anthony, who really took a step back, but that's the injuries.
Yeah.
Alex Bregman is gone. I don't, Devers recently from the year before, he's gone. They're just not the same Red Sox. And Crochet is down. I don't know what's going on with this team, but all I can say is they have the makeup of a seller. And while they don't necessarily have to ship Chapman back to the Bronx, if the package is right, they'll make a trade with the Yankees.
Oh yeah. And with Chapman,
it might be right.
Yeah. You know what? With Chapman, I'm not gonna lie. His last year with the Yankees, I was like me and you spoke offline. Whenever he came up, eighth inning whenever he came up,
it's like stress city.
He just.
But to be fair, the guy who replaced him in that role also did that to us, Clay Holmes, and then you replace him with the man who made the beard stuff a thing. Devin Williams only spent 1 year with the Yanks.
Yeah,
that dude is just scarred from the Pete Alonso home run. He hasn't been right since then. That's why it's so comical that Pete Alonso left the Mets in the offseason and Devin Williams joined the Mets. That is just all kinds of crazy work.
It's the Mets, man.
It's the Mets. You got that right.
They started metting early this year, but I was frustrated with Chapman because like I said, he had that nonchalant attitude about whatever. I gave up 25 runs in the ninth inning, and I was upset. But you know what? I will take him back because I know he's a good pitcher. I'm
just curious to see, like, if they did bring him back, if Booney would kind of go to like a closer by committee deal where there's almost like a 50-50 split with him and Bednar, or if he'll define a role. But personally, in today's baseball, it's not always about recording the save.
Right.
If your best pitcher in the pen, let's say hypothetically, if the eighth inning presents more issues based on the other team's lineup than the ninth inning does, you might see your better guy coming in the eighth because it's about preservation and getting through it. It ain't about the stats.
Right, because you need a bridge.
But I like the idea of Chapman coming back, and I wouldn't have said that a few years ago, but is it going to be one of those deals where he comes back and then it's like he's imploding again? I mean, he's 37 years old, so I don't think it's going to cost the Yankees like an arm and 6 legs to get the guy.
Well, he comes back and he implodes, man. I'm going to Yankee Stadium. I think with Cashman, I'll be honest with you. I mean, if they told him that he can go and they still, but I think they just want to get rid of him. But with Cashman,
is Cashman gonna apologize? Because
hell no.
In no major league contract is there a clause that says one must apologize before being traded.
Listen, Richie, Brian Cashman apologized. I believe Chapman when he said Brian Cashman said some slick shit. Because Cashman seems like somebody.
I don't doubt that. We're not always the good guys.
But Cashman,
I don't doubt that for a second.
Cashman seems like somebody who would say some slick shit. He just got that. Don't get me wrong. I love Brian Cashman. I love him. But he just got that.
I think he gets a bad rap a lot of times. That's not an easy job he does.
It's not. And you in the craziest market in the world. Playing for you're running the Yankees.
The season never ends. No, really. I mean, truly. The season never really ends.
And Steinbrenner's still talking shit. He's been going 15 years. Yeah, it's a hard one.
Boss.
If Chapman said Cashman said some bullshit, I believe it.
No, it's just going to be interesting because I never thought in a million years we'd see Giancarlo Stanton and Cody Bellinger in the same lineup.
No,
because of their history with a woman. They both tied to their lives, and they're both MVPs, formerly MVPs. So she definitely has a type.
And then you bring back Chapman. Oh man, we are going. If we bring him back. You can see I've been like. You can see how I just keep giggling about this whole situation because I find it kind of comical. Well, you know what? The NBA season is almost over, and we need some more entertainment. Bring Chapman back.
He's an upgrade over Duvall. Duvall has not been right.
Duvall has been he and no disrespect to him, but he just
And I love Fernando Cruz, but Fernando Cruz gives me that anxiety the same way that Wandy Peralta used to give me that anxiety. They're both fighters, they're both bulldogs, but yeah.
The same anxiety Chapman used to give me.
Chapman was a different kind of anxiety. That was just like, because you never knew where the ball was going to go.
Right.
It could end up in Gary Sanchez's glove, or it could end up like knocking out some kid in row 12.
Or it might be on a 4 train, the platform or something. You don't know. You know? I like Chapman. He's a good pitcher, but yeah, let's move on.
I don't know how I feel, but I look forward to my next haircut, chopping this up with my guy Luis Hilena, because he's going to get a good charge out of Aroldis Chapman, possibly a third stint with the Bombers. Three chances to win one game.
Before we move on, who knows? Odell Beckham Jr. is back.
It's a weird time, bro.
Who knows?
Everything kind of comes full circle at one way or another. The Long Island Railroad people had that strike earlier. The Knicks are back in the finals. You know, things happen.
New York.
It's
great to be in New York.
The New York Knicks have 3 chances to win the most important game, the final game of their season.
Yeah.
And San Antonio's season if they win game 5, if they win game 6. And that's the final season of everybody, for everybody, if they go 7. We have been well documented our issues with the officiating in this series. What went down in game 4 was a little bit of everything. The fact that we held that offense, talking about San Antonio, who was cooking at a historic level from beyond the arc and just in every which way in the first half, with a little help from the refs. You know, Karl Anthony Towns got in trouble right away in foul trouble. A couple of questionable calls, to say the least.
Yes, sir.
Wemby with the whole "I'm getting in your head." And listen, I'm not trying to apply one thing to the other. They're competing on the basketball court. But it's been well documented with Mitchell Robinson's mental health challenges, and something that he's been very open about, which I think is huge and important to be able to speak on.
Yeah.
Wemby doing that, I'm not convinced he's just talking about basketball. And I'll be real with you. I think the narrative around Wemby has been that he's a dirty player. And, you know, we talked about this off air. I also talked about it to Q, among others, that when you have a sport, every sport wants to have their villains or people that people tune in for. So I saw people in the comments, why would the NBA want to push this guy to the forefront when everybody hates him and he's a dirty player? I'm like, you just answered your own damn question. The same reason why Floyd Mayweather made so much money on pay-per-view buys, because people, even if they hate him, will tune in to see if he finally loses.
Right on.
Unless if you were in that community, whether it's Connecticut, larger parts of New England, Boston, whatever have you, Rhode Island maybe, you hated the Patriot dynasty.
Yeah.
Tom Brady's the poster boy. But what's going to make people tune in? That you want to see him lose.
Right on.
And let's be real, the Yankees of the 90s or even the Dodgers of today, people tuned in unless if you love the team, because everybody hates them.
Yeah.
So there goes your answer to that. But I just don't feel comfortable with the way that officials in this particular series are giving Wemby not just the calls on the offensive end, but completely turning their backs on just the most egregious acts. And I thought it was AI at first. I had to rewatch that part of game 4
when he tried to step on OJ's
that was bad.
Look, man, I don't mean to interrupt you, Richie. And I know San Antonio. I used to have a lot of respect for San Antonio fans. And you know what? Wemby is dirty. If you can go back to the OKC series, and you go back to the what's the first series they played in? Was it Minnesota? Portland. Yeah, you can go back to that series. The elbow, no foul, nothing. That should have been a flag.
The elbow was actually in the Minnesota series.
That's what I was thinking about Minnesota. Yeah, that was a flagrant foul. I don't care about what letter of the law. That was a flagrant foul in the 90s.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute.
Wasn't he?
I'm having a. I think there was a situation in the Portland series too, because
It might have been.
they did lose one game to Portland.
It was one of those games. He threw a blatant elbow, no fine, and people would say, "Oh, New York Knicks." No, no, no. If you look at his stuff and see what gets me about these San Antonio Spurs fans, this is what they say. Well, y'all wanted '90s basketball. No, we wanted good basketball, and still, regardless of '90s, they do '90s. It's still a foul. It's a flagrant foul, and what that thing the stuff he did to Hart, especially Jalen Brunson. He damn near knocked Jalen Brunson out.
What about when he flipped Alvarado in San Antonio in Game 2?
Yes, just
Because
threw him away.
you saw Alvarado, bro.
Yeah, Alvarado.
I was proud of Jose, as Joel Ortiz would say, Joel Ortiz would say, Jose Alvarado was on his Brooklyn bullshit.
That's it.
Did you see how he was like? He gave up like the little. It looked like Paul Heyman, like when he screwed over one of his clients and gave him like a little fist right in the groin there.
Yeah,
typical wrestling move. Yo, Alvarado, man, wow! Like he earned so much respect of mine, and to see the post game where he and Karl Anthony Towns are kind of having fun with each other at the podium.
Yeah.
And Cat's like, I don't feel all that comfortable praising the Puerto Rican. Like, this is, but it was all in love because, there's, if you know, you know, it's okay if it goes over your head. But it was cool. It was really cool to see not just these two guys coming together. This is Jose Alvarado, because Cat is a star on this team. Alvarado is a piece on this team. But when you see Alvarado stepping up in a bright light shining moment, it's a phenomenal situation. And when San Antonio was cooking historically in the first half, and they hold the Spurs to 14 and 16 in the third and fourth quarters,
right? That
is like unheard of. Now that's some self-inflicted stuff. Comebacks don't happen just by one team scoring. Right. You need stops. You need bad clock management from the team you're trying to come back on. All of it came to fruition together. You need bad decision making, like De'Aaron Fox, but you talk about a sequence. It's not just the OG Anunoby tip-in. We're talking about OG, blasting him on the other side there. But you talk about miraculous stuff. Josh Hart couldn't make up his mind if he wanted to dunk the ball. He was a little worried about who was behind him. He was thinking too much.
Yeah.
And when he missed that layup, I was like, oh boy.
Yeah, I was like, yeah. But you know what? He made up for that in another play, though. That's a good thing
on
about
the final play.
What? Yeah, and see,
Cat got a piece of that ball.
He got a piece of it, and that changed the trajectory of the ball. That gave wasn't enough time to get under the ball and stop Cattle. It's great because the players we got, we got Alvarado from Brooklyn, Brunson's from Jersey, Cat's from Jersey. We got local cats, and you got Cat, and Miles Bridges is from Philly. So you got local guys, and even Hart's from Baltimore. But the great thing about these guys, like Bridges, Brunson, and McCall, go back to college, and they get along like that. But you can tell Brunson and Hart are the big brothers, where Bridges is the little brother of the Nova Cats.
And the Nova Cats also, of course, that would include Dante DiVincenzo, who's currently healing from a torn Achilles. He was part of the Cat trade. Go ahead.
I don't mention about DiVincenzo. He showed up at the game.
That was cool. Yeah,
he showed up at the game. And I mean to cut you up, but also then you look at Cat and you look at Alvarado. They're not part of the Nova Cats, but they got their own little playful beef. And the whole squad got their own little playful beef with each other. Like, we don't get along because we're from Nova and y'all some other dudes. But they also it's in the mix of, Brunson's Jamaican, because, Rick Brunson's Jamaican, Cat's Dominican, Alvarado's Puerto Rican. We got a hell of a squad, man.
You got Tyler Kolick in there.
And he's from,
we got OG.
From England.
It's quite the mix. It's quite the mix.
We got to have a team, man.
It's exemplary of how diverse New York is. Now, with any NBA Finals, you're going to get good and you're going to get bad in terms of the fans. Yeah. I'm going to say this. I don't care if I piss people off. There's no honor and there's nothing cool about beating the crap out of one person,
No,
15-1, 12-1, whatever to
it's
one.
not. It's not.
And I'm sorry, guys, a couple of fans can really ruin it for diehards. Now you talk your shit, you say what you gotta say, but while I have feelings that are mixed about the watch party because there was a situation that came from that too. The problem when a team is white hot in any city is that while it brings out the most loyal diehards, it also brings out some of the dregs.
Yeah.
And you can't, and unfortunately, something so diverse like a huge city like New York and other cities, we've seen this too. I mean, dude, every year the Bulls won, that city was burning, dog, like literally burning.
Yeah.
So, given the history of the Canyon of Heroes and parades, we haven't seen it like ugly like that. And I really hope that if we do indeed win the Larry O'Brien Trophy, Knicks fans do not make the powers that be in New York regret or steal away this moment. Hopefully, Knicks fans don't do that because there are certain people in this fan base that do some shameful shit, bro. I'm not going to sugarcoat it just because I love the Knicks. I think, I want my fans to be passionate. I want my fans to make it uncomfortable. Like the way Karl Anthony Towns was like, guys, get on your feet. That kind of stuff. But, I don't care if it's the Spurs doing it to the Knicks fans or vice versa or anything. It ain't ever cool to jump somebody with those numbers. Not to mention, like, what are y'all trying to do? Is life that bad? Is life that bad that you got to resort to those tactics?
You know
I'm
what?
going to call it like I see it. It's unacceptable.
A Knicks fan made a point, and I'm going to say this, and when I say it, I want people to look at it, listen to me, what I'm saying. And this is not a black or white thing. This is a label this guy put on some Knicks fan. He's a Knicks fan, and I agree with him. Now, we know what the N-word means, with the ER. We know what it means. Even with the A, we say it, but, we don't see it that way. But let's use the ER. This is what he said. He said, we got two sets of fans in our fan base. We got diehard Knicks fans, and we got Knickers, like Knickers. He said, we got Knicks fans, we got Knickers. He said, those are not Knicks fans.
And who was it? And who was it that said this?
It was a black Knicks fan.
Black Knicks fan. Okay.
He was saying was, Knicks fans that care, we're not out here acting cool. He said, those are Knickers. He said, those are guys who just out there. They might not even follow the team, or they might watch the team, but they down there just to go viral. He said they don't represent us, and I was like, he made a point. He said they don't represent us, and he was saying like, and this is not a black thing or white. He said because it's black people, white people, Latino. He said everyone's out there. He said they're all Knickers, and he spoke with the word Nick with the ER to S. He said that's what they are. He said because it's ignorant what they're doing out there. He said we don't need to be beating anybody up. He said we can talk all but we don't need to be beating nobody up.
You can't be the greatest city in the world, but have these things going viral and still make that claim for yourself, and it's embarrassing. Bottom line, and it makes the whole fan base look terrible.
It's great that to see us out there, yelling like, acting like fans, acting crazy, but we don't need the violence.
Because truthfully, it is a reason why certain people literally, and I'm going to keep it a buck, dude. I do not in any way, shape, or form want to be associated with anything that looks like the Eagles fans.
Oh, no.
I'm sorry, we're the Knicks. We're supposed to be better than that. Bottom line, we're supposed to be better than that. I do want to hit on a couple other things with regard to the fan base. I've said this on a recent show or a recent short, one or the other, that I don't like how the NBA Finals this particular year, which is the highest rated since '98, has priced out a lot of diehards. I think it's very unfortunate that that has happened because I think the diehards, there has to always be a place. And I get it, it's an expensive league. It's a very profitable league. Taylor Swift, I want to hit on this for a second.
Yeah.
Taylor Swift gets called out for not being a real Knicks fan. Then there's, that's the thing. Then there's an apology. And I like Monica, I got no issue with what she said.
Yeah.
But I think what kind of threw me for a loop is like, am I really that old? Because I remember the Taylor Swift connection going back to why she was linked with this team on a level. And people are like bugging out and wilding out. about Travis Kelce and Taylor not,
But see, that was
exploded.
Our man's a Cleveland fan.
Well, I
You
get
know,
that part. But
yeah.
my whole thing is like, guys, this isn't even a close series. Y'all acting
No,
like this is game 7 in
right,
Cleveland or something. It's not
right.
even that kind of party here. So in that regard, I just see it as, I mean, I'll be the first to say that sometimes the Swiftie explosion in the NFL does become annoying.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
However, I have no bad for Taylor Swift. And my thing is like, this goes back to like Amare Stoudemire. So she did get an apology, so it's all good. But this is something that Knicks fans got to stop doing.
Yeah.
I'm going to call out some of the OG Knicks fans that I don't appreciate some of this.
Mm-hmm.
It's nobody's fault when the year that they were born.
No, it's not.
Why do not all older Knicks fans, but why do a lot of older Knicks fans got to act like you're less of a fan if you didn't see the 1970s, 1980s, and the 1990s?
You know what?
Were you down since coming out? Like that's something that annoys me about fan bases.
Yeah.
That's not right. So if I'm only 26 years old in the year 2026 and I'm a 2000s baby or whatever, that means I'm less of a fan? What kind of shit is that?
With me, if you out there with the Knicks, you're a fan. You're a fan to me. Now, I don't think
Now
the
there's
ones
levels.
I don't think the ones who just
There's
cry.
levels.
Yeah, I don't think the ones who just cry like, "Oh man, we suck." We didn't say, "Wait a minute, dude, we've sucked for a while." We just
Because
suck
where the real test of time was, not test of time, but test of the flavor of the month, I'll call it.
Yeah.
Was when Brooklyn came in. You got Russian billionaire, you've got hip hop billionaire.
Yeah.
And they were the hot destination, the new arena, the Knicks, and James Dolan played a huge part in why a lot of people didn't want to come to the Knicks.
That's right.
And the Nets had their little bit of success.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Nets had their little bit of success with KD, Harden, and Kyrie. That got all blown up. They didn't win. The ultimate goal was win a championship. The closest they got was when KD got his stuff pounded on the glass by Brook Lopez when they lost to the eventual champion Milwaukee Bucks. That team gets disbanded. And now the Knicks, kind of a couple of years later, more or less simultaneous to the Brooklyn departure of this talent, starts taking back the city. But this is interesting. So if you're from Brooklyn and you have a team, when the Nets came back to New York, because let's not forget, in the ABA, they were in New York, Dr. J era.
Yep. Nassau Coliseum.
My mother was born in Cumberland Hospital. She was and she's from Brooklyn.
Right there, yep.
It's like, okay,
right
so
there.
they have a team there. What does that change my Knicks affiliation?
Right.
But a lot of people saw it as an excuse because the flavor of the month was drawing in some future Hall of Famers. Oh yeah, we can leave now. And now look at them.
Exactly.
It's comical.
I know some Knicks fans that went over to Brooklyn, and my brother.
But my thing is, make a decision if you got. But my thing is, I could almost understand if you are that proud of your borough. I could understand to a level.
Yeah.
But don't come back. Do not come back.
Don't come back. No, don't come back. Like I said, my brother, he when Brooklyn came, he said, "Yeah, man, I'm a Knicks fan, but I rock with Brooklyn." I said, "I don't. There's still the Nets."
Yeah, bro. One day, just because you changed your address, I'll take it even a step further. We know that the New York Jets and the New York Giants both play in MetLife Stadium, which is on the other side of the bridge, which is in New Jersey.
Right.
If for whatever reason the New York Jets came back to the state of New York and played in Long Island or wherever they could find some land for them, and if the New York Giants stayed in New Jersey, I'll even take it as far as if the New York Giants ever changed their name to New Jersey. Would it hurt me? Of course it would. However, so I'm going to leave them now? No.
Still G.
No. Shouts out to the late great Mount Matumbo with the no. All right. All right. So how does this game play out, Idris? Are we coming back to MSG or are we going to finish this in San Antonio?
When we come back to MSG, it's for the parade. We're going to finish it out. I believe we're going to finish it up. I think with the Knicks, and we've seen it in Atlanta, we've seen it in Cleveland, we've seen it in Philly, now we've seen it with San Antonio. This team stays focused. No matter
They
what's
never
going
quit,
on,
dude. They never quit.
they never quit. If you look at their demeanor from the start of the game, when it's 0-0, to when they came back, they never had that like we lost this game. But when you saw, but when you seen the Knicks coming back, if you look at that San Antonio side, they were looking like, oh shit. And then you could tell how they played. They was getting nervous because it comes the Knicks. It comes that crowd. And once that crowd got into it, it was over. It was over.
And I gotta say one thing on the way out.
Yeah.
Fat Joe has actually seemed to have this luck with doing that ridiculous dance where Wemby is struggling at the line with Fat Joe's little antics. I'll take it. And I don't want to hear, oh, he's not really the real. I don't care. I don't care. If it helps, let it ride.
It worked because he made sure he told Stephen A. Smith, he said, you see me? I did my dance and he was if it works.
And to your point, Idris, to your point, with the exception of some scales that we're not proud of, this has brought the city together in a decent way. And my prediction for Game 6 of the NBA Finals, excuse me, Game 5. I was so used to saying Knicks in 6. My prediction for Game 5 of the NBA Finals. Are we really going to close it in San Antonio? Idris, I don't want to be that guy. I don't want to be that guy.
Hey, put the mojo, man. It always works with you. Go ahead.
I don't want to be that guy.
Go ahead, dude. It always works.
I think the San Antonio Spurs are going to win Game 5.
There you go.
And they're going to force this back to New York.
There you go.
For the most nerve-wracking game of our lives.
There you go.
Give me the San Antonio Spurs by a score of 118 to 106. The Knicks are going to be a little flat in the second half, and the refs are going to be a little accommodating to Wemby and co. And give me the Spurs and the Eddie Mush. Idris, your prediction for Game 5.
I'm gonna give my prediction, but it's funny you said that. You know why? Because
it's such a good organization. You know,
I see so many.
Nobody wins 3 on the road in the finals anymore.
Hey, look, it's funny you said Eddie Bush because I've seen so many people actually reference the video from.
You know, this is an uncompromising position for me to be in, because if the Knicks close it out in 5, dude, I'm not even trying to be comical. I have never picked against the Knicks since the playoffs started. And it's not that I'm that much of a homer. It's that we weren't supposed to struggle with Atlanta like we did. And we've won. We won 13 in a row? I moved my pin on the clock. Now we're looking for another winning streak. Man, the hell with all this Bush shit. Man, the New York Knicks are going to win the NBA Finals in Texas, in San Antonio.
Yeah, right.
All right. I'm giving the final here.
I didn't get my score.
Oh, don't worry. We're going to get yours. We're going to get yours right now. Give me the New York Knicks by a final of 119 to 108. The Knicks are going to have a big fourth quarter, and they're going to run away with it.
I'm going 109 to 97. What I'm going to
on the road.
Yeah. 2 points I want to make out. It's a little political, but I want people to hear what I'm saying. No matter who you voted for the mayoral race in New York, no matter who, I don't care if you're Republican, I don't care if you're Democrat, I don't care. But I'm gonna give shouts out to Mondani. I'm gonna tell you why. Like I said, for one, he dropped that law we got, or the law about the 10 o'clock rule, so kids can watch the game. All right, now school's out now, so it's different now. That's one. And for him to say, look, we're going to have watch parties for people who can't go in there and watch the game. You know, this is so people can act, because you got people who, because New York market, sometimes you don't see home games.
But it's a little more relatable for the common person, because Listen, I don't care who you vote for either. It really doesn't. No president has ever had the ability to change my life that heavily. But my thing is this. My thing is this. Whether it's whoever's at the helm, it happens to be Donald J. Trump on this one.
Mm-hmm.
When you say that's the way life is, you could watch it on TV, can you be any more disjointed or disconnected?
Exactly. And you know what? And
But
the way I look at
it, but you're still trying to push that narrative that you're a diehard Knicks fan. If you're such a diehard Knicks fan, why aren't you sitting courtside? Why aren't you with the people?
That's what my Dami sat in the crowd, in the cheap
But that's
seats.
what I'm getting at, bro.
Yeah. And you know what? Also, I say this way, and I don't want to go at the conservative base. I really don't.
No,
but
it's not even about that.
But I mean, I have to
not.
get. No, I know, but I have to say something about them right now about that, because I'm seeing a lot of posts, and I'm only hearing this from the conservative base. Look at them dumb liberals. Look at them wild. Da, 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 da. And I'm like, that's not called for. Because you know what? When you look at that New York crowd, I can guarantee you got conservatives, you got liberals, you got atheists, you got Christians, you got
all of it. You got all of it.
That crowd playing.
I don't care who the president is. My whole point is, if a president being in the building, he's not even amongst the people, but yet it has that kind of an influence on what's going on outside and everywhere else. It's not the time.
It's not the time.
And my thing is, I'm irritated with James Dolan too, but I said this too. I think I talked to you yesterday. James Dolan so desperately wants to get back in the good graces of the Knicks fans. But James Dolan's also a bit of a narcissist, where he's not exactly pleased that Jalen Brunson, Leon, Mike Brown, are the guys getting all the credit for this next turnaround.
And that's where he's so stupid at, because he literally stepped back and let basketball heads take care of basketball.
Yeah, but when you have a large ego, that shit doesn't stop. Because if we win the NBA title this year, I'm going to say this. Not only are we going to win the NBA title in spite of the refs, we're going to win the NBA title in spite of our owner. James Dolan didn't become a great owner because the Knicks are good again.
He's still not a great owner. We got we got a great team around him, but he's still not a great owner. He's not a good owner. The only reason he's not getting a worse owner is because the Knicks have won.
I said this to you yesterday off air, Idris. It's a lot easier to tolerate an owner or the whole situation when you're winning. It's when you're losing that all the warts show out. Was anybody tripping on John Mara when the Giants won in 07 and 2011? Did anybody question if you let a superstar walk? We were winning.
For him to say him and Trump sat in the same box together, side by side. For him to say he doesn't want to have any more watch parties. Dude, you are alienating the fans. The little man.
But what?
I don't know.
But who does that other than someone that doesn't feel that they're getting enough attention?
Exactly.
Everything's good. Y'all are up 2-0. You won 2 games on the road, which is a very rare task in the NBA Finals.
See, he's going to make
you got this team on the ropes.
He's going to make it where people don't want to come to New York and play because of this not playing. Like, dude, sit your ass down somewhere.
But it's just, it's so unrelated to the bigger parts of the sport. And what's comical to a level is if the Knicks finish this in San Antonio, what's the one stain they got on the NBA Finals? The day that they had to accommodate 45 and 47.
Right.
And once again, I don't care about all this political crap. This is a sports podcast, and we are diehards. I just didn't want this to distract my team or mess up the mojo, because I am a superstitious person. I'm going to leave it there.
Yeah, I'm with you.
For Idris, I am Richie. If you haven't already, please make it a point to like and subscribe to the channel. Richie Hicks Jr. Sports Podcast on YouTube. Check out Old Man Energy, Volumes 1, Volume 2, as well as the dirtiest rap album ever made on Big Bosco Productions, Bandcamp.com. All right, we got another one coming. Volume 3 is on the way. Also making a point to check out our friends at the Casual Convo Show every Monday and Wednesday, 8 to 10 p.m. Check out the Basement Show with our good friend Johnny Nast as well. Check out the Make It Count podcast with our guy, Mr. Sneaky G, huge Giants fan, out in the big state of Texas. Idris, any final thoughts?
Let's go Knicks, bring it home, man. And Knicks fans, don't tear up the city.
Please.
Don't tear up the city. You can get drunk, you can get high, you can celebrate, you can scream, yell, all that. Don't tear the city. And for you knuckleheads,
because
and for you knuckleheads that's out there just cause trouble, keep your asses home because we don't need you out there. Stay your ass home. The city is united. The city is united. The first time since 9/11, the city is united. Sit your ass at home. Shut the hell up. Let us enjoy it.
Yeah, don't be a sideshow to the level where people on a national level will actually regret that we won, because it bleeds into the whole product, not just some knuckleheads.
Right.
For Idris, I am Richie. Have a great weekend. Let's go Yankees, and of course, let's go Knicks. We out.
Big Nick energy, we ain't playing nice. Kings of New York, ain't no rolling dice. Flexing on these bitches, we the real deal. Ain't no stopping us, this is how we feel. The Bronx, Manhattan, Brooklyn, the island of Queens, we ballin' hard. Fulfilling all our dreams, thugging through the hustle. Got that grit and grind in this Big Nick energy, we forever shine. So let them know we rockin'. From the garden to the booth, Knicks in the building, bringing straight up truth. With our heads held high, watch us rise and transcend. Big Nick energy, this is just the beginning. Big Nick energy, we